Good evening everybody and welcome along to the Monza Temple of Speed Italian Grand Prix circuits in the country of Italy. Round 7 of 11. We have 4 more races to go after this. Someone's got some Formula 1 cars running down their street. I like it. And we got Italy this week on the Easter weekend. Then we got Mexico, Silverstone, Zandvoort and Abu Dhabi to go. In the commentary box this weekend, well at least tonight, is the man from the Hungaroring last week, and it's hello to Stumpy. How are you, sir?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. Very good.
Good evening, everyone. That was me with the with the music on. I was just seeing if this is on Twitch or YouTube. Yeah, looking forward to this quality session. I'm not doing many commentating on a full qualifying session, so I'm quite interested to see how this goes down.
Yeah, so I'm sure you are aware of what happens in a full qualifying session. I'm sure the viewers are aware too, but we'll break it down again. 15 go through. So tonight, 3 people will be out after 18 minutes of the Q1 session, and then we'll go into the top 10. So we'll knock another 5 out from 15th to 11th in Q2. They'll have 15 minutes during that session, and then there'll be a top 10 shootout going across 12 minutes to form the grid tomorrow night. 53 laps of Monza tomorrow night, and I did a 53 lap in career mode. Old right, 1 hour and 13 minutes, and I'm sure it could be beaten. Maybe if someone's in this lobby is quicker than I am. Who knows? Stumpy, what do you know about Monza then?
I know it's quick. The problem with Monza is, I mean, like, a lot of it is full throttle, so it's very hard to gain time. But saying that obviously it's made up of chicanes that break up down them straights, but those chicanes, if you haven't got your car fully committed over some of them curbs, you do lose a lot of time. So it's hard. At one point, you know, you think there's not a lot of time to gain or lost, but at the same time there is, if that makes sense. The way I said it doesn't, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. This weekend is clear. It's the first weekend in endurance. There's been 6 rounds already, but we've actually got a fully clear weekend, and there's no place like Monza to have some clear sunny skies. I may put the race to sunset tomorrow if I'm feeling creative, but we'll keep the quali session to the official start time. On board with the AlphaTauri of Stephen, who's about to go on a lap. Stumpy, would you be able to take us on a lap of Monza?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in 8th gear, 212 to 13 mile an hour. Hit your braking point. He hasn't took too much of the entry curve there. Maybe, you know, this is his banker lap. On the power early as you go through Curva Grande, keeping it tight, so shortest route. And then you go under the Pirelli bridge, searching for your braking point. Throw it in. That's a nice amount. Took some curve there, not too much on the exit. As you go to Lesmo 1, again, hug that curve, run the car out wide as you approach Lesmo 2. Not too much curve on that one, because that one will spin you round, open to DRS. There is a Ferrari, I think, in front of us. Might give us a bit of a tow, but this might hamper us going through into Ascari. Takes plenty of the first part of the chicane and the second, but he's gone a bit deep there. That's compromised his exit, but again, he's going to have a bit of a tow. This is only a banker lap, so it doesn't really matter too much as long as it is valid. Into the Parabolica. That dirty air's pushed him out wide a bit. Shortest route to the line, and what do we get? We get a 20.1. Not too bad for a banker lap.
Thank you, Stumpy. That is a lap of Monza, one of the only circuits that I can comfortably name the name of the corners rather than the numbers, just like Silverstone, for example. And that's what is good about this circuit. 2 chicanes, 2 Lesmo, straight into Ascari, and then that beautiful final corner of Parabolica. And we've got some laps in. 20 dead, my big Bowles Bowls, 20 20.1 by Stephen, 20.1 by Suleiman. That's Cos Klausen, if you weren't aware. We've got Burakan, VTech, Alfie, Sadistic King, and there will be a fight at the bottom. You don't want to be in the bottom 3 over the next 13 minutes, because that means your night is over and you'll be starting there tomorrow night. The people are not here. Liverpool fan, Bruce, he'll be racing tomorrow, so he'll be in 19th or 20th. And the other person not here always escapes my mind. I'll remember it in a second, but he'll be starting 90th and 20th as well. Jay Wills has gone off at Ascari. Oh dear me, and that means he'll be starting 18th on the grid tomorrow. Oh dear.
That's one of the characteristics about this circuit is Ascari. It's you gotta carry so much speed through them corners on the exit. Like if you've got a wobbly rear end, then you will lose it 9 times out of 10. And I assume that's what's happened. Yeah.
That is a man who 2 weeks ago got his first lot of points. Actually, it was by getting second in quali. In endurance, you're given 2 points if you get pole, and 1 point if you get second place. A couple of facts and figures about Monza, everybody. You know I like my stats. So of course, 11 corners, lap distance 5.793 kilometers. 27 laps will be a 50% race. 53 tomorrow. Race distance of about 312.8 kilometers. Of course, every F1 circuit has to be 305. 69 races have been held at Monza, but that's actually incorrect because this website's from 2019. So 70 races have been held at Monza. 27 wins have come from pole. That's 39% conversion rate, and the lap record average speed 160 miles an hour. That's quite quick, isn't it?
It's not too shabby. I think was it the 2004 BMW might have been a lap record. I think Pit's owner, like during the race, like back when the engines could rev up to 19,000 RPM. Unbelievable times back then. It's CJ Lawler 19.5. That puts it into P2. Is the other driver who you're missing Tichy?
No. He's actually stepped back due to footballing reasons. Who is it? Let me have a look. Let me have a quick look. Is it? Oh yeah, of course. It's Liverpool fan and Spudhead. Yes, of course. The McLaren driver Spudhead and no, actually, sorry, the Alfa Romeo driver Spudhead. Now he's changed because Wizard has come in for Tichy, who then swapped. And obviously Spudhead is an Alfa Romeo driver in the European tier. Wizard is having a few connection changes, so we'll go off that. Big Balls Bounce, happy with a 19-1. He's retired in the pit lane. And we've got to manage their tyres here, Stumpy, because we obviously discussed before the party, well, it's not obviously because they wouldn't have known, but the medium, is it the optimum or is it the not?
Wizard's out. That's
is he
not
fully
a connection issue. That is tyre. By the halo, he is out. He's lost it at the exit of Ascari.
Oh,
I was wondering for a second if that was his internet, but no. He's full on gone into the barrier, and
Has he lost
out.
a tyre?
Yeah, it's gone. Front left.
Oh wait, he's moving. He's moving.
Is he? On mine, he's out. He's
okay.
He's in the barrier.
Well, I hope he's not out, because that'd be P17. Oh, maybe he is out. Yeah, it's just gone through now. Oh dear. Jay Wills and Wizard starting P17 and P18 on the grid tomorrow. And Wizard was expected to be at the top. And Jay Wills has shown that he has the pace to potentially be near the top. And both of those have got a lot of work to do tomorrow to be at the top, haven't they? I mean, that's very close to the bottom.
Yeah, it is, and obviously this track is good for overtaking. It is good, but it doesn't help when you start from the back.
Absolutely not.
These guys, like you say, would have been expected to start from the front, but a couple of mistakes. Easy to make a mistake around here, especially through Ascari. So they will be starting from the back, and they will have to fight their way through.
Well, the problem is now is that only one more driver is going to go out of this session because we've lost 2 early doors to personal retirement. So it's a fight. Whoever finishes 16th, their night ends here, and we will see them tomorrow. And all the rest will stay. So who's it going to be? Max currently without a time. Done 2 laps on both softs as well, so squeaky bum time for the Mercedes driver. There's a couple of people at the bottom end of that as well. Jacko, LY, AFL. Alfie's down there as well. Depends how much we can improve, of course. Ramos with a 22.7, so he's got work to do, has the AlphaTauri driver, and we'll see how they get on. 7 minutes left on the clock. I think VTEC's on a lap now, Stumpy, one of the only ones on a fast lap on the track.
Yeah, as you're saying that, C-Max, he went 3rd, so that puts Ramos down into the knockout position. The thing is about this track, I mean, like, obviously we were saying there's only a couple of chicanes that break up the straights around here, but you've got to attack those chicanes, which makes invalidations quite probable. So, you know, on your first run, the first couple of runs, you need to make sure you get them lap times on the board. So yeah. I'm expecting a lot of these guys to improve by, you know, a few tenths.
And they have, of course, probably two runs at a tyre in Q1. They may open a new set to set their race tyre in Q2. For those who don't finish in the top 10, of course, have a free choice. Those in the top 10 in Q2 will carry it over. Of course, new tyres tomorrow. We can't control the tyre wear. Here comes VTEC in his Williams car. Was 12th place. Only moves up 1 to P11. Is the Williams driver under threat? Who knows? Sadistic King is happy with his time. So is his teammate Max, 3rd and 7th. Those are quite confident, Stumpy, but they're going to make it through without using another set of tyres.
Yeah, certainly appears so. It's quite premature, I think. We've got 6 minutes left on the clock. So it's 5:30 on my screen, but it's usually 30 seconds or so ahead.
Yep.
So they're very confident. I mean, at 20.1, I wouldn't be too comfortable with that time.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about ED2 is we have no idea what the bench line is going to be. We can look at the 19.1 and say, okay, that's not bad. I'm sure there's room for improvement though. And Jacko, Cam, Suleiman are on outlaps at the moment. Jacko just coming down to Parabolica, so we can watch the Alfa Romeo driver. He's most at risk here. He's in 15th place, needs a good lap to solidify his place into qualifying 2. That will happen in 5 minutes or so. Here we go, and let's go on board with Jacko and the Alfa Romeo heading down. 212.13, matched the previous car we discussed, so probably a similar wing run in there. The higher the wing, the lower your straight line speed. Through the first chicane, it's not bad. Don't want to touch that curb on the right. I have found out that it actually slows you down quite badly. Through curb, a grande, beautiful turn. Not really a turn for these cars. Second chicane, nice little fan spot there in the corner. They get a good view. Remember Leclerc and Hamilton having a moment in 2019. And then the attack for Lesmo stumping. If you get it right, you can be rewarded very highly. Get it wrong, and you're crashed.
Absolutely. Remember Lewis Hamilton? Well, I seem to remember you saying you only watched recent years, but like Hamilton, I think back in like 2012 or something, on the last lap he was leading the race and Lesmo won, and he ran wide and just spat him out. And that can happen in this game as well, as Jacko has invalidated.
I did not know that. And just sending a message quickly.
VTEC's happy with his lap. That's 20.4. He's currently P11. We've got 13th and 14th. They're still in the pit lane, so they're going to leave it to the latest time that they can till they go out, because they're going to be scrapping. There's only one place, as you said, that's going to be.
Oh no!
Oh,
There's been an incident around Curva Grande, and the Alfa Romeo went to the right hand side, and the Alfa Tauri tried to go round to the left and couldn't get out of the way, and that stopped his lap. I hope he's got enough fuel to get round. Alfa Romeo didn't really help him at all.
Yeah, no, is he going to have enough time?
I think he should have enough time. Does he have enough fuel?
I'm not sure, because look at the state of his tyres.
What's he got on the dash? He's got 1.9 laps of fuel, so he does have enough fuel. Yeah, Alfa Romeo probably won doing there. Didn't really get out of the way very well, and when he did get out of the way, went into the right hand side of Curva Grande, actually hit the wall and came back onto the track, and the Alfa Romeo driver had to move out of the way. It would have colossal into the back. Alfie's on an outlap because he's not quite sure he's going to make it through.
He's on that cusp, isn't he? Two guys in the low 20s might be comfortable, but mid to high, it might be a bit squeaky bum time, so I think they will go again.
Well, Ramos is definitely going again. Does have enough fuel to do so. 1.6 on the dash, that's more than enough. He's got the battery to do it as well. 65%, should take about 60. With the overtake mode, his tyres would have been touched by a lap, but like you said before we came on air, the tyre wear isn't too much of an issue, and he's overshot the first corner. No. He might have just stayed in the white line, but it's probably cost him a lot of time, hasn't it?
It's cost him a huge amount of time. That's going to compromise him all down. Well, it's not really a straight, but it is full power, so he's going to keep losing time. Yeah, and he's realised and he's backed out.
Oh dearie me, and that might be Ramos out of the session. Was on a lap before, starts a new lap and completely misjudges the first corner. So Alfie may be aware now. No, he wouldn't be aware, would he? Because it only shows cars +2, -2, doesn't it? So he'll know Jacko's time, but he won't know Ramos's time. So Alfie won't be sure if he's going to get automatically through or not. He probably might not have realised Alfie was still 16th place when he passed him on track. They have the name tags above the cars, of course, but they don't know all the situation. So Alfie's lap looking alright though as he heads down to Parabolica.
Yeah, he's just sacking up on his Sector 2 time. No signs of him backing out at all. Oh, but he's got a tight line there. No, that's just to get the shortest run to the line. That's a 90 tap, puts him second, so that's maybe that's just a bit of a shot to the other guys for Q2.
It's not bad, and yeah, puts a statement out for Q2. Jacko 15th place, and he's going to be safe because, excuse me, Ramos's tiny mess up into his first chicane for his lap didn't really help the Alpha Tauri driver the lap before, unfortunately, and yeah, Ramos may have every right to feel a little bit aggrieved, but it has happened, and that is the end of Q1. So from Wizard and J-Woz's personal retirements, that means they'll be starting 17th, 18th on the grid, with Liverpool fan and Spudhead behind them, of course, tomorrow. That means Ramos will be starting P16 for the Italian Grand Prix tomorrow, and now very shortly we move into Q2, and the fight to get into the top 10 resumes. And if we look at the benchmarks, Dumpy, we've got 20.1, 20.2, 20.3, 20.4. It's all very close, isn't it, around that 10th spot?
Yeah, it will be pretty close, but like track evolution as well, that'll come into play into the second part of qualifying.
So you suggesting maybe a 20 dead, 19, high 19 for the top 10 spot?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, if they're lapping that now, you'd like to think there's a couple of tenths with track evolution alone. Plus, as they run further into the session as well, there'll be more grip laid down. So we'll see, but you know, I'm expecting high 19s.
high 19s, Stumpy suggests. Let me just write some notes down very quickly from the session. So Wizard in 18th place, J Wills in 17th place. It doesn't really matter about the top, so we'll just scroll down here. McLaren there. And then P16 FXS underscore Ramos. He'll be starting P16 in the Alpha Tauri. I'll type that down, make sure we don't make any mistakes. There we go, that sounds good to me. Okay, just write Spudhead in there as well. At the back of the grid. Cool stuff. Alright, Q1's done, everybody. We've got Ramos, Wills, Wizard out. Now, it's a fight for the top 10. If you get into the top 10, you go through to a Q3 shootout. I have a feeling it's going to be quite close. A lot closer than Q1, because in Q1 your job is to very simply, with the lowest amount of tyres you possibly can, if you can do it in one run, the better, to simply get through to the top 15. Now is to get into the top 10 with your preferred choice of starting time. If your preferred choice is for softs, Stumpy, you said that might just be equal to mediums, then that's your choice and you got to do it.
Yep, that is the way it goes down in Q2. So I'm just looking at the fitted tyre choice for people's first runs. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people choosing the medium so far, which would be Hobbsy, C-Max, Jacko, Suleiman and Lawler currently. All the rest are going for softs. So
it is, yeah. I feel a lot of people, obviously some tracks, the optimum strategy is to start on the medium, as we see in real life a lot, but it's not always applicable, is it? In terms of overall race time.
Yeah, I always find it weird in qualifying in general, like even in like 18-minute short quali sessions or these sort of sessions, people do their first run on the medium tyre hoping it'll be quick enough, when we all know later in the session is when the grip improves. So I don't understand why some of them don't do their medium run, maybe say about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So that if it's not good enough, they've got time to come in, put a set of softs on, and get themselves through. So you've got a higher chance than when the grip's at its premium. But we'll see how they do. Some might surprise us. Getting into high 19s on mediums, that's going to be some doing.
Well, in real life, they have to be very careful on their tyres, because they have a set allocation, and if they do a lap on the mediums, as we saw in Bahrain, that might not help you for the race, because you may have to use that tyre again. Here, that does not matter at all. You won't see these tyres tomorrow, you will get a brand new bunch. Just on the compound, if you make it into the top 10, you do it in, like you said. Are we going to go medium and then softs at the end because they're not sure they can make it through? Is the medium actually that much better? It is a bit of a rundown to turn 1, everybody. If you actually look at where the pole box is, it is a bit of a rundown, isn't it? So yeah, if you can, are you going to lose a position or 2 on the mediums? Quite potentially, if you've got soft people around you. Yes, you are.
Yeah, like you say, with the tyre wear not being an issue in the race, that soft tyre will give you a better launch off the grid, and it will go a lap or 2 longer as well, which makes the strategy a whole lot easier. So personally, I don't think the alternative is that massive. It might pay out in your favour. If there's a safety car, what's happened there?
Jacko.
That's the exit of the Sky.
Who's next to him? That's Hobbsy next to him. We can see there. Oh, the Alfa Romeo has gone off pretty badly. Yeah, Lesmo won, that is. So obviously got on that, probably the left curb. and then spun the car into the wall on the right side and smashed up the front wing and the tyre. So I think I'll write that down. That is Jacko starting P15 tomorrow night in his Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, it looks like he did what Hamilton did a few years ago. I got confused because I was looking at the track map, and Ferrari got caused the yellow flag on the exit of Ascari, but he seems to have kept on it. As the first lap times are starting to come in, and we're looking at Lawler on pole at the minute. Well, he's just been replaced by VTEC. He's in the 20 flat. I'm looking at Steven, he's gone to the line, and he goes pole with a 19.5.
Here comes El Wyatt, 20.1 in the Haas. The finish line is actually quite early. It's just towards the start of the pit lane. The DRS comes after the finish line, so take into account that. How's Max doing here on his medium set of compound on his Mercedes car? He's just started his lap round the curve grande. He goes, and let's see what speed they can reach here to the second chain. Got a bit of traffic here. Brewer gets out of the way very respectfully. That's nice to see.
It's not a lot. Yeah, it does have quite a bit of traffic, and he's sort of in that area where that dirty arrow kick in. That wouldn't have helped him through Lesmo 1, even though the Haas driver got out of the way for Lesmo 2. Down the straight, going under the old banking. That car is too far ahead to disturb his airflow, but he seems very cautious and he's invalidated.
Oh, that looks harsh. I was on shoulder cam though, so I couldn't really see much, to be honest.
Yeah, I was on board. It did look a little harsh.
It did look very harsh. I mean, track limits, all 4 wheels have to be at least one wheel of your 4 has to be on that white line and not past it. So the steward's behind the scenes waiting that Max went wide, and that might be the end of his medium run. No, he's going to try again, because obviously the tyre wear doesn't run over. Max is not bad. He's pretty quick actually, doing well in the championship. I think he's second or third. The endurance hasn't been updated on my website. By the way, I have updated endurance last Monday. So I have the standings. We'll read them out tomorrow night. Just haven't been updated on my website, which is a bit of a rip, but it's all good. Brewer into the second chicane. Takes a good amount of that first and second curve. I thought all 4 wheels were off, but never mind, maybe not. And Brewer looking to put a good lap in here on the soft compound. He's one of the 6 drivers who haven't got a time. One of those drivers is out. Yeah, he's not looking bad as he comes down to a Ascari, stumping Mr. Brewer.
He's just going under the bridge. That exit, Plasma 2 looked a bit scruffy, but he's set up purple, sector 2 time. Ascari looks neat and tidy. He might get a bit of a slipstream as well. He can tuck into it, which doesn't appear to be doing. He's going to look to the left, look at his breaker point, and then just straighten the car up as much as you can to get the better traction. Shortest run to the line, and where's this going to put him? It's pole position.
Top of a Q2 for now is Mr. Brewer. Good lap, and him wrecking the We Racers 1 helmet. Love to see that. Yellow flags for some traffic issues. Brewer might be able to give his teammate a tow, but there's no point because White has gone third fastest, 19.8. So the 2 Renaults looking good. They were doing really well 2 to 3 weeks ago. They've had a bit of a slip. Both of them not quite in the top 4 last week. So they'll be looking to put it back in Monza if they can. VTEC on an outlap on the medium compound. AFL on an outlap on the soft compound. His Ferrari teammate is 9th place so far in the pits. And we may see a hunt with the last few minutes to go of people trying to make it into the top 10 shootout, which is where you want to be, isn't it, really? You want to be fighting for the top 10 here in Monza.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like turn 1 and 2 around here, it's so tight. It's an old school sort of circuit, so it's easy to pick up a bit of wing damage being in that midfield. It's not where you want to be. I'm currently on board with Statistic. He's down in 12. He's on that medium.
Is he getting a tow off Hobbs? He's on a fast lap in front of him as well.
He's 1.5 up on his time, so that's going to be, well, his current time's 23.5, so this might sneak him into the top 10, I'm not sure.
Let's do Hobbsy first, and then we'll let you do your statistic. Red Bull driver should be into Q3 with his overall pace. Crosses the line and goes second.
He does, he gets 10th. Just ahead of X-Cam.
This is crucial, by the way, Stumpy. AFL, 15th place at the moment, crosses the line, goes 10th. Not sadistic out into P11 at the moment. There's still about 6 minutes left of this session, but one Ferrari driver is into Q3 as it stands, and this is where the fight really happens now. Do you have what it takes to get into the top 10 under the nerve, under the pressure of not invalidating your time and going for a top 10 shootout? And a good thing for commentary, Stumpy, if you've not done a full quali before, is I learnt in Q3 it's very easy to track where everyone is on the map, because there's normally only 10 dots. So you can easily learn and easily flick through as they cross the line who's coming through. You know, in real life at the bottom of the screen where Crofty has every single time pop up of who's next to cross. We don't have that. But it is a little bit easy on the map in Q3 when there's only 10 cars and not 15.
Yeah, Crofty still usually manages to mess it up sometimes in his overexcitement. And what we've got here, we've got Big Ball Bowles here. He's going for his. Is this his lap? No, it's going to be about 5 minutes, but he's on medium tyres that have done 2 laps already, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if this is. Oh, he spun it, and he's out. He's out. He's in it on the exit of Lesmo 1. He spun on the inside of the circuit, and that is a wheel gone. So he will do no better than where he is.
The man who won a race. 5 different race winners in 6 races. Big Balls Bowles, the man who won a race 2 weeks ago in Brazil. He's now out of Q2 and starting P14 tomorrow. I'll write that very quickly on my notes. Oh dear me, that is not where he would have wanted, and he'd be looking for a lot better than that at the moment. Who's at risk? Cam is at big risk. He's just come out of the first chicane and he's on his way through. His teammate has been dropped out by somebody, probably Max, who beat him by 26 thousandths of a second into the bottom 5. So AFL Cam, the 2 Ferraris have work to do. The 2 Mercedes are on that cusp as well, and Clausen, aka Suleiman, might be at risk too.
It's all getting very close. That X-Cam is half a tenth up in the first sector alone. That'll be on a 20.4, which will put him 10th currently. So let's see if he can prove any more. Yeah, he's sector 2. It's 6 tenths. He just needs to make this lap valid now. But Ascari did look a little bit cautious on the camera angle I was at. Of course, other people are going to be on laps as well as the session goes on.
Here comes Cam in the Ferrari. Can he break into the top 10? Needs to do it now and quick. Was 13th fastest, crosses the line, goes 8th. For Ferrari drivers into Q3 at the moment. Suleiman has retired in the pit lane. And that he is at big risk because the Mercedes of Max and the Mercedes of Sadistic are both on outlaps. AFL has time to come out. Evie comes out now. 2:10 on the clock plus a little bit. Big Ball Bowles has left the session from his retirement. He's starting 14th tomorrow. And Max starts his lap. The Mercedes driver on the hunt to get into Q3.
It's going to be very, very close. Sadistic on his outlap. C-Max has just started his. AFL, is he going to come out? He is. I think he's coming out right now.
Who's the racing point on track? Oh, that is Alfie. Yes, so the VTEC will be the next one to cross then, I believe. Where's the other Haas? El Wyatt. Yeah, he's done 2 laps on the side. So VTEC will be the next one to cross as he heads through a Sky red fuel gauge. He's backed off. Has he run out of fuel? No, he's got 0.7 on the dash. What has happened to VTech? He can't go again. I'm sure that says 0.7. I don't know if you're on PS5 or something. I can't see that. Alfie starts his lap. Let's go back to Max. This is crucial. He's 6'11th. Max, second in the championship at the moment. If he hasn't dropped to third from last week. Definitely second. And he'll want to get into the Q3 shootout. And here he comes down to Parabolica. And the Mercedes has some pressure here. He's got to deliver. Takes that horribly by his standards, and I'm sure by your standards, Stumpy, as he comes around Parabolica, crosses the line, can Max break into the top 10? He goes only 6th fastest, but it should be enough.
Yeah, that's 19.8. That is a quick lap. We've got others on track. Statistic, he's just done sector 1. He is 3/10 up. Currently, that's not going to be enough. But he does have 2/3 of a lap to improve as he goes through the Lesmos. Enters Lesmo 2 now, carries the speed, picks up the throttle, opens the DRS, punches through the gears, over 200 mile an hour, under the bridge, the old banking of the old circuit, and he is 7/10 up, sector 2. Goes through Ascari, it looks neat and tidy. He's not spun it.
And
straight.
just to add on to that very quickly, Alfie has bottled the lap.
Oh, this could be close. It was Sadistic was 7/10 up. Has he gained any more? Shortest route to the line. Here we go. We find out now. 6th.
6 indeed. Max should be safe. It's between Alfie and VFL to get into the top 10, but if AFL was to get into the top 10, he booed his teammate out, who's 5 thousandths of a second. Alfie's had to go again because he knows he's P5. AFL will cross first. He's got to get a sky out. He's 4 tenths up. AFL. He's going to be so close because he needs half a second. 4 tenths is not enough. He needs half a second, half and a half. He needs 0.55 seconds to get through. It's all going to be between AFL and Alfie. The problem with Alfie is he's already done a lap on those tyres. AFL through Parabolica. Is he going to knock his teammate out of Q2? Stand by to have a look. Yellow flag's ahead. Doesn't really matter. Sakar retiring. Here comes AFL. In his spin, all the Ferraris across the line. It's only 12 fastest, but it's down to Alfie now. Can he make it into Q3 and knock Cam out and put the 2 Ferraris out of the top 10? Or can he, is he not going to do enough? Here we go, Alfie. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. He's going to pop up 5th. He knocks both Ferraris out of into Q3, goes in himself. Cam and AFL will be starting 11th and 12th. And Alfie, not by the skin of his teeth, it was a good lap, but he gets through. And J Law on the mediums for tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out then, Lawler, with the lap that puts him on the medium for the start of the race, but the Ferraris outside of the top 10 at the home race, the Tifosi will be absolutely furious about that.
Love that. So I'm just writing that down, and I'll also write down J Lawler's on the mediums tomorrow. J Lawler qualified on mediums, every other top 10 on softs. Perfect. So there you go. 2 Ferraris. Stumpy's words, not mine. Tifosi won't be happy. And I don't think we'll be able to charge the circuit due to COVID, but what we will be able to charge is 10 cars on a track, 12 minutes to see who's going to form the top 10. And this might be a little bit close. Let's find out.
Yeah, it will be close indeed, especially seeing some of them guys' lap times before, some warning shots. So what we predicted for pole position, well,
I don't know now because there's been 2 different people. There's been an attitude like in Q1. Your attitude is just get through. You don't have to set 19s or whatever. If you've got the pace to get through, you just set the lap and you get through. Q2. Again, you don't have to drive to your prime if you know you're at the top. You just have to get through on the tyre that you want. Now Q3 is where you do have to drive to your prime. Because you could set a lap now. There's only basically enough time for 2 full runs. if you set the first run and you're 6th, but you know you could be worth on the front row, and then you mess it up, instead of being on the front row, and instead of being 6th, you could be 9th. So you got to drive to your prime, and you got to do it within the limits. And that is what is fun. Where are my standings? There we go. Let's go on board with a car. Let's take Alfie. We got a last shot of him at the end of Q2. He got through comfortably at the end, although scary, and he set a good lap time on a set of tyres that he'd already done a lap on. So we'll have to keep on board with Alfie, because he may throw up something special. Do you remember Italy last year, Stumpy, where they all queued up on the final corner and qualifying didn't get done?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus! A Haas driver there, Wyatt, nearly took Alfie out there going down to Parabolica. He was trying to get out of the way, but in getting out of the way, he didn't get out of the way. But there we go. These three are quite close. Alfie trying to get a slipstream, maybe. I don't know how much turbulent air is programmed into this game. But, yeah.
Look. Well, his lap's okay. But he was trying to get a toe off VTEC coming into the pit lane, and they crossed the white line. I was just wondering the way the game is programmed, whether it's going to invalidate this and the next lap. But he seems to be okay.
Stephen outlap. El Wyatt actually is going to be the... It's not El Wyatt, it's Jay Lawler on a fast lap, but he's invalidated. Okay, we'll drop to Sadistic King, who's also turned off his battery. Okay, nevertheless, we'll go back to Alfie then. I was trying to find people closer to the line, but we'll go back to Alfie, who's slipping and sliding through Lesmo too as he pulls out that open wing of the back and slips down that DRS. How fast do we go down here? 213 down to turn 1, down to Ascari 211. It's not bad. Oh, that is an invalidation. That's exactly what Brewer did, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And what you were saying before about people not, delivering their full potential in the first two qualifyings, just because they're getting through. This is where the pressure starts to show. Your first runs, you're getting validated, and then your second run, pressure's on even more then, because you've got to deliver a fast quick time and it's got to be valid. So it's like a snowball effect, and I really enjoy this qualifying format. Formula One has a lot of different qualifying formats over the years, but this one really works in terms of excitement.
Here comes White across the line into the 19th we go. 1 minute 19.879 for the Renault driver. One of the drivers who hasn't invalidated on his first batch. Good to get that line lap time in. Stephen in the Alpha Tauri coming down to Parabolica. Running the lowest fuel he can. Probably 5 litres. That's the lowest you can run, I'm pretty sure. Takes Parabolica okay. Probably could have nicked it more on the inside to get a better line through the outside and use more of that track. But Stephen's going to cross the line. Was first in Q2. Goes first in Q3 with a very similar time. I believe that's just a 100th of a second down. Instead of a 5.55, it's a 5.65. And that's the benchmark so far.
Yeah. Just curious as to why VTEC is...
He came in, didn't he?
He came in and he's gone back out on mediums. So I don't really understand why. Unless he's just burned through all his tyres. But Q3, you get 3 tyres.
Well, you get one more.
Yeah.
You get an allocation of at least one more. I know that. And you also you can also use a used set from Q1 or Q2 again, because it doesn't carry over.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone wide. Yes, Hobbsy there, and that wasn't harsh. That was true. Just on the outside of Ascari, you can take, once you make that left turn into Ascari, it should be flat, at least for the top end people. Once you make that left turn, the right and the left is flat, if you're confident. If you step that left turn too far, you leave it too late, or you slip on the curb and have to oversteer, correct, that is when you do what Holmesy's just done, and go wide. And that's not what you want, because you only have enough time, like I said, to do 2 runs really. I mean, look at the time, we've already used half of it. If you've got enough fuel to do a second run, fair play, but not everyone does. Max has said a purple first. We don't know if that's technically true. We don't have tasks for ED2. But he's coming around the Lesmos. He's not pushing those Lesmos as fast as I know he can. He's very conservative. It's like he's got an attitude of, let me get a lap in first, and then I'll push it, kind of thing.
Yeah, possibly 2.6 for his sector 2 time. The important thing in this session, you know, as in with any session, you have to get a banker down, a time. In this session, hopefully it's reasonably quick, and yeah, let's see what he does over the line. It's going to be like a 19. That's a 19.3. That's quite a good banker, shall we say?
Into the low 19s we go. We're going to hit the 18s. Let's find out. Jay Lawler on the soft compound tyre, coming around Parabolica in his Haas car, replacing Ryan Mills for the weekend. He let him use his car. He's going to cross the line. Jay Lawler should be at the top. Let's have a look. Crosses the line. 19.2 goes pole by 96 thousandths of a second, and he's the benchmark so far. El Wyatt, his teammate for this weekend, has just passed the first chicane, and he's going to be on his way to try and get as high as he can. It'd be nice to see El Wyatt into the top 10. Hasn't got many points this season, but we saw White get no points in the first 2 races, and now he's third of the championship after winning a race and getting loads of podiums. So it can happen if you put the effort in and the practice. Goes wide over Lesmo, spins his car, has not retired, luckily, but El Wyatt, he's going to have to go into the pits. Whether he has another set of tyres or not, I don't know. We don't have that information, but he's at risk now because he doesn't have a time.
You've got just over 4 minutes to go, so time to get in, but whatever set of tyres he's got left, to put them on. He will have time to go again. Like we said before, the degradation's not that bad. We've still got Hobbsy and Alfie to set a time.
Yeah.
Hobbsy's out on track, and so is Alfie now, so they're leaving it to the last minute just to get theirs in.
White's had an issue, and I know why. He overshot turn 1, which is easy to do, isn't it, Stumpy? I mean, the sun light can affect seeing that racing braking line. As, for example, Austria turn 1, I said it last week in the quali session, it can have an effect on seeing that red line. Just overshot turn 1, White, and that means he's going to have to wait, go again. Does he have enough time to go into the pits? Maybe. It'll be incredibly close. There's a little bit more on that timer than we see to the eye. Who knows? How's Stephen doing? He's a man who will be looking for a point or 2 from quali if he can get on the front row of the grid. He's coming through first Lesmo into second, cuts the curve nicely, a bit more conservative, but sometimes it's better if you can get a good exit and work your way down to a sky. Can the AlphaTauri get on that front row for tomorrow's race? Not by that you can't. And that is an invalidation for Ascari. And we've seen it, haven't we? Brewer, who was the last one? Alfie, I think. And then Stephen, cutting that corner. You can't do it.
It's a bit cruel, some of these things, but not much we can do about it. So what Stephen's going to do, he's going to go into that pit lane. So, I'm watching the wrong bit. So I'm going to concentrate on Hobbsy now and Alfie because they haven't set lap times yet.
Yep, Hobbsy is going to be the first one, the racing point behind, and Hobbsy will be looking at the top as well. Oh, goes a little bit thick into the second Lesmo. Did not clip the apex very well at all, and that might have cost him a chunk. I don't know how much. A couple of attempts maybe. Good clip on the left hand side of the Ascari though, and through it smoothly. A little bit twitchy on the outside, Stumpy, but let's see what it can do for him.
Yeah, he's heading towards Parabolica, and there you go, 50 metres he breaks. Doesn't really trouble the apex at all, but that's not going to trouble him too much as he punches for the line. It's a 19.9. It's only 6th position.
That's not good enough for Hobbs, and he knows it. Here comes Alfie, 5th at the end of Q2, crosses the line, goes 2nd fastest, half a tenth behind for pole sitter moment. Not bad by Alfie. Mercedes is next across. It's going to be Max. He's on an outlap. We'll skip to a Renault. It's a Brewer. He's on an outlap also. So Sadistic King.
Oh, there's been a bit of drama into turn 1. White was coming for his lap. That was Stephen in the AlphaTauri. It's just outbroke himself and gone into White, and that's cost White a bit of his front wing, so that's qualifying over.
Oh dear me, Sadistic King in the Mercedes has set a lap time, was 9th fastest, 23.2, not very good. Can he improve now? He's going to cross the line, it's a 19.8. And only 7th fastest. A Williams is next. It is VTEC to cross the line. Can he improve on his 9th place? He's going to cross the line. It's into the 19s though, and it's only 8th fastest. Hobbsy has retired from the session in a place he wouldn't have wanted to be. Jay Lawler is next. If we can skip to him very quickly. There we go. The Haas driver coming around the finish line. Can he increase his pole time? No, he cannot. So it's all down to Max Brewer. And Max and Brewer.
Ooh, Alfie just went over the line and he's 0.033 behind Lawler and remains in 2nd.
Max has invalidated, so the Mercedes driver can't improve on the 3rd place. Brewer is the only man on the grid who has a massive opportunity to get into, well, wherever he wants to go, really. 8 milliseconds behind his teammate. I'm sure he can beat that. The final man to cross the line. How far up the grid can he get for the race tomorrow? He'll be looking to improve. He's had 2 dreadful qualifying chapters in the last 2 weeks. Can he make up for it? Can he get number 2 rows? He can. Beats his teammate by 6,000ths of a second. It was only 8 milliseconds behind. How close is that between the 2 Renault drivers? But the incident between White and Stephen, did that stop them from getting higher on the grid?
Well, it was in turn 1, so White will be pretty aggrieved by that one, but the 2 Renaults seeing how close they are in terms of time really shows that the potential of that car, and they're extracting absolute maximum.
Well done to the drivers. That's 2 points going Jay Lawler's way. And who put that comment? How is Jay Lawler out? Well, he's only got pole by half a tenth, so it's pretty close. So 2 points there. And the session has ended, I think. Or did Sadistic King start a lap? Well, if he did, he's invalidated anyway. Alfie's on the front row. Now, we know that Jay Lawler's starting on the mediums tomorrow. So does that mean Alfie could get ahead of him and lights out? It is quite a rundown.
Yeah, it is. And with that soft tyre giving the initial good grip off the line, it could prove that way, but you know, Alfie could bottle the start, we don't know. And if Jay Lawler's sitting in the first 3, getting in a DRS trade, he's going to be looking pretty good for the race.
And Jay Lawler is now he's pretty good at starts. I know that from experience, but also he's on manual gear, so maybe able to short shift 3 to 4 to help him out. Just making a quick note of the standings on a notepad just to make sure I don't make a mistake, and then we can send that off to Rizal, the graphics guy, to get that processed. There we go, 1 second. One more to right, and that is L. Wyatt gets 10th place. So we got Hobbsy in 9th. That's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously Max is his championship rival at the moment, and Hobbsy is starting 9th when Max is starting 3rd. So can Max gain on Hobbsy at the top of the championship tomorrow night? It's all going to get a little bit feisty and a little bit close where a racetrack actually promotes overtaking. So it's got all the, what's the word? I don't know. It's got all the
ingredients,
yeah, to make a good race tomorrow. And we got Spudhead, who won last week in Hungary, as we both know. who said, last the first challenge. Who knows? You never know.
Why not? Why not?
You never know, do you? Right, let me send a picture of this to the graphics guy very quickly. And yeah, I mean, everybody, that is the end of the stream. And that is the end of the full quality. Stumpy, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And if he is with us tomorrow, everybody, well, he will be here. If he's not, we'll try and find another person who is willing and hopefully as good as Mr. Stumpy. It's quite hard to find. But yeah, that's it from us this evening. So please do tune in 9:30 tomorrow for 53 laps of Monza, where we actually promise, we got a full grid by the way, should actually promise to be a great spectacle, just like Hungary was last week. Any final words, Stumpy?
Yeah, well, I hope I can make it tomorrow because, like you said, last week was an absolute cracker, and that's not really a place for overtaking. This place promotes overtaking. We've got mixed strategies. We've got like the race winner from last week starting from the back. So I hope I can make it to commentate on because it's shaping up to be a great race.
Good stuff. Alright, join us 9:30 everybody tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night. 24 hours from now, Monza with ED1. ED2 returns. Thank you.